Greetings of the day. My name is Ms. Prachivani, and today let us discuss what Service Blueprint is. Before we begin understanding Service Blueprint, let us start with this quote, which says, when you serve the customer better, they always return on your investment. So, we have to understand what process is before we understand what Service Blueprint is. Now, process refers to the systems used to assist the organization in delivering the service. So, processes are all those procedures, mechanism, and flow of activity that ensures consistent service delivery. While processes in the manufacture of goods are treated quite independently from marketing, they are very integral to the service delivery in the service industry. Now, while in service, a very close coordination is necessary to close any gap in between the promises and the actual delivery. There is a procedure for each variable feature like raw material that we are issuing or receiving, storage conditions of the same, job specification or job description, standard recipes, standard trainings, and many other such procedures. So, service blueprinting was a technique introduced in the year 1984 by G. Len Shostak, who was the bank executive, and he published a paper in Harvard Business Review. So, blueprinting is an analytical tool that is helpful in identifying the service encounters in which customers participate as they move through the service process. It is a tool that portrays the service process, the point of customer contact, the evidence of service from the customer's point of view. Now, the service blueprint is built by listing all the actors which are involved in the service process on a vertical axis and all the steps required to deliver the service on the other axis. It is a picture or a map that precisely portrays the service system so that different people involved in providing it can understand and deal with it regardless of their role or their individual point of view. So, a service blueprinting as a map for simultaneously depicting the service process and the point of customer contact and the evidence of service from the customer's point of view. So, we're talking about three essential factors here. The first one is service process, customer contact, and evidence. What are the benefits of service blueprint? It reminds employees how important it is to have a customer focused point of view. Another benefit that we have is it establishes opportunities for continuous improvement. It encourages a rational approach to service design. It helps in assessing how much the business has invested in each process or touch point. It enables managers and frontline workers to better communicate to improve the customer experience. And lastly, top management can visualize how the business operations and customer experiences are changing. So before we really go ahead and plan the blueprinting, the first thing that we have to do is create a canvas. Now, when we're creating a canvas, there are four factors which are important. The first one is customer actions. So it includes steps, choices, activities, and interactions that customer performs in the process of purchasing, consuming, and evaluating the service. The next stage is on-stage employee actions. Now, steps and activities that the contact employees performs that are visible to the customer. Now, the next aspect is backstage employee action. Here, steps and activities that occur behind the scene to support on-stage activities. And the last one, but extremely important factor, is support processes. Now, this covers the internal services, steps, and interaction that take place to support the contact employees in delivering the service. So here we talk about a canvas with 4 factors: customer action, on-stage employee action, backstage employee actions, and support processes. Now, when we are building a service blueprint, there are a few steps that we have to remember. The first one is identify the process to be blueprinted. So this will bring clarity when designing of the process will begin. Next step is identify the customer or customer segment. Every customer segment will bring new requirement which needs to be thought about. Example, let's say kids play area in a fine dining restaurant or in a coffee shop that you want to plan for. Map the process from customer's point of view. Every time when designing the process, consider what customers will think, how will they react, and bottom line, are we meeting customers' demand? The next step is map contact employee action on stage and backstage. The entire process needs to be designed after considering various parties which are involved. Link customer and contact person activities needed to support the functions. So one call to the call center will make or break the impression of the product. The last step is add evidence of service at each customer action step. An evidence like an office space which you are creating or a software which we are using to take down the bookings or while you're helping your customers. So let's understand these components in little depth. The first component we said was customer's action. Now here, physical evidence is utmost important. Now when we're talking about customer's action, we are talking about line of interaction. This is where direct interaction between the customer and the organization is going to happen. On-stage employee action, this is a line of visibility. Now this line separates all service activities that are visible to the customers from those that are not visible. The third one is line of internal interaction. This is happening under backstage employee action. This separates contact employees activities from those of other service support activities and people. And the last component is support process. This is where you have physical evidence for the service that you are providing. Let me give you an example of this. Now, as we said, physical evidence is important. That's our first component, customer. Then we have contact person here, on stage and backstage. And we have support system. Now, under physical evidence, you see a hotel parking. You have a guest who has arrived at the hotel. Now he's going to get in touch with the bellboy and give his bags to bellboy. Now giving bags to bellboy becomes on-stage activity, and these bags are taken to the rooms by someone else or by the bellboy. The same bellboy becomes a backstage activity. Now what is the support that they're getting here? Is the check-in software wherein they're entering all the details which are required for any kind of follow-up that needs to be done. The physical evidence here is also the cart which you are using to keep the bags. The bags are given to bellboy. That becomes the customer action. Here you have check-in desk, which is under physical evidence. The customer is going to check in. Under contact person, the receptionist will go ahead and do the check-in process. That becomes the on-stage activity. You have a menu card, which is physical evidence. The customer is going to call IRD, which is in-room dining, to place, let's say, an order of a coffee. The food is going to be delivered, which becomes a on-stage activity. And backstage activity is someone took down the order and entered it in the software. Preparing the food also becomes a support system. So if you look at this, you have physical evidence of service, then you have customer, and you have a contact person, which is giving service on stage, and there is someone who's also supporting that service backstage. And there's a big support system which is making sure that everything is happening smoothly. Applications of service blueprints, we will find them in new service development, for concept development and market testing, supporting a zero defect culture, so managing reliability and identifying empowerment issues, service recovery strategies, identifying service problems, conducting root cause analysis, and modifying processes. This is where service blueprint is going to help us. Blueprints can be used by service marketers for creating realistic customer expectations, service system design, and promotion. Likewise, for operations management, wherein they can render the service as promised, managing fail points, training systems, quality control. In human resource, they can empower the human element, job descriptions, selection criteria, appraisal system, and in system technology, providing necessary tools for system specifications and personal preference database. Hope you have watched the video carefully. Now check for the quiz link in the video description and do attempt the quiz. This is my references and credits slide. On that note, I'm going to say thank you and see you soon.